fragrance originated around 2000 BC, and the first known chemist was a Babylonian noblewoman named Taputi Belatacalam, and she worked as a perfumer. Perfume was held in very high regard back then, and it was mainly used for cosmetic purposes, but they were also used in rituals and for medicine. Essential oils were also used to treat infections, so perfumer will also be regarded as a pharmacist. Fast forward to 1709, and we have an Italian named Giovanni Farina who migrated to Germany, and he was also a perfumer. He created a scent that he described as Italian spring mornings of mountain daffodils and orange blossoms after the rain. He decided to name this scent after the town in Germany he was living in, which was called Cologne, Germany. Cologne, Germany actually seems like a really cool place that I would love to visit one day in the future. I wear cologne every single day, literally. Every single day I wear cologne. And it doesn't matter if it's my day off and I'm just lounging around the house, I still wear cologne because I love cologne. And it all started when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I loved to dress up in a nice suit with a dress shirt, a tie, a sweater, whatever the case, man, but I absolutely loved to dress up. And that was my thing when I was a kid. And when I was a kid, I had his best friend growing up. He had a grandfather that I would call Grandpa Jack, and Grandpa Jack was a very successful man, very successful. He dressed classy everywhere he went. He was a very classy guy, but there's one thing that initially stood out about Grandpa Jack was the fact that he smelled really good all the time, every single day. And he, no exaggeration, had a cologne collection of at least 50 bottles of cologne at his office. It was insane. And that was just his office. There was more at his house. He took notice that I like to dress up nice and look nice. And I remember one time he had told me, he said, "Hey kid, if you're gonna look good, you gotta smell good." My birthday was coming up, and he gave me this really expensive bottle of cologne. And prior to that, I never had cologne. I don't think I ever smelled cologne prior to that. But he gave me this expensive bottle of cologne that I absolutely loved. I love the smell of it. And ever since then, I've been into cologne. I subconsciously made this connection in my head that if somebody smells that good, they must be somebody. They must be a successful person. He took us out once in a while. We met his friends who were also successful, who also smell good, and that furthered my belief that if somebody smells that good, they gotta be somebody. They must be somebody important and somebody successful. I wanted to be successful, so I wore cologne every day, thinking it's some kind of magical potion that's gonna make me a successful person. I remember wearing cologne all the time, and I just remember feeling like $1,000,000. And I distinctly remember thinking to myself, I'm gonna spray this cologne and something's gonna happen that I'm gonna become a successful person. Do you remember those Axe body spray commercials where women went absolutely nuts every time they smelled a man wearing Axe body spray? Well, a group of researchers decided to conduct a study, and they wanted to see if a man smells that good, does it indeed attract the ladies? They had two group of guys, and group A, they had this body spray that smelled really good. And group B, however, they also had a body spray, but it didn't smell like anything at all. It had no scent. The two group of guys, they were given a series of psychological tests, and they were filmed, and then they showed that film to a group of women who were then asked to rate the attractiveness of the group of guys. The group of women found group A, the group of guys that smelled really good, they found them to be more attractive. And the researchers found out to be very interesting because obviously the women couldn't smell the guys through the film, but the researchers concluded that the scent, the smell of the body spray has no direct impact on how a woman views a man. Furthermore, they show photographs of the same group of guys to another group of women, but they did not find them to be more attractive. It's the behavior that women find attractive. It's the confident behavior that the men display in the film that the women find more attractive. It's not the smell and it's not the appearance. Why do I wear cologne every day? Well, like I mentioned earlier, when I was a kid, I had that weird belief that if I wore cologne every day, I would be a successful person. So I did it all the time, and honestly, it's just out of habit. You know, I've been doing it for such a long time that leaving the house without wearing cologne or doing something, it just feels off to me, just out of habit. I have a cologne for every occasion. I have a cologne for when I leave the house and I just do errands. I have a cologne for when I go to work. I have a cologne for when I work out. I have a cologne when I have for date night. I have a cologne that I use for like special occasions. But you know, call it a slight case of OCD. But you know, I just have a cologne for everything. And I just love wearing cologne, and you know, it's a habit at this point. Reason number 2 is I just have this thing with scents. I love good smelling things. In my house, I use scented candles all the time. And if it's not the scented candles, it's those plugins that you plug into the socket that smell good. Same thing with my car. My car, you know, I either have those pine trees that you put in the rearview mirror, or I have one of those little clips that you put in the air vents that smell really good. But you know, my car always has to smell good all the time. My house has to smell good all the time. The office has to smell good all the time. And maybe again another OCD thing, man, but I just have to smell good. either myself or my house or my car. But you know, I gotta smell good. Reason number 3 is kind of a personal one, but honestly, just the smell of cologne just reminds me of a time in my life where I just felt really free. I felt like myself. And it reminds me a lot of Grandpa Jack as well. Grandpa Jack taught me a lot of great life lessons. I had great experiences with him and my best friend. And I'll never forget the time he went to go buy his brand new Mercedes. He took me with him. He asked us to wear suits, and you know, I wore my favorite cologne. And I'll never forget walking into a Mercedes-Benz dealership with a suit. And I felt so cool. I felt so amazing. And then I climbed into the driver's seat to check it out, and just the experience of being inside the driver's seat of a brand new Mercedes, I felt so powerful. I felt amazing. And I remember telling myself one day that I'm gonna make it one day, and I'm gonna buy this car. Life wasn't really too kind to me after that. Life just took a turn for the worse, and life just got worse. I started losing myself. You know, I went to dark places in my life, and I just slowly started forgetting who I was on the inside. Grandpa Jack unfortunately passed away, and I just sent me to this depression, man, because, you know, Grandpa Jack was a very important figure in my life. You know, he taught me a lot of things in life, and losing Grandpa Jack was just really hard for me. Every time I smell cologne, it just reminds me of a certain period in my life in that specific time frame, you know, with Grandpa Jack and my best friend and all that great stuff. Every time I smell certain fragrances, I experience what's called odor evoked autobiographical memory. How your brain processes, you know, sound, taste, touch, and sound, it's different than how your brain processes smell. The part of your brain that processes smell is the same part of the brain that processes, you know, emotion and memory. This fragrance right here, Jean Paul Gaultier Le Mans, this one triggers that memory being in that Mercedes-Benz dealership, because this is what I wore. And also, this is the first brand that Grandpa Jack had got me. This is one of my favorite colognes, and one, because it smells really good, but two, most importantly, it just triggers that memory, and I have really great feelings and memories every time I smell this. It has a really fresh, minty, lavender, vanilla scent to it, and it's a very iconic scent. It's a very iconic bottle, and it's definitely one of my favorites. Paco Rabanne 1 million. This one definitely triggers a bunch of great memories in college. I wore this in college probably the entire time, and you know, I remember having great projects with my friends and going out with my friends, my college buddies, and creating great memories, doing really cool things in life. Smelling this just really triggers that memory a lot. And the funny thing about this one is that everybody wore this when it came out. This came out in what, 2009, 2010, around there, and everybody was wearing this. It got kind of played out. Recently, not many people have been wearing it, so I guess it's safe to wear again. But you know, the bottle itself is what really attracted me, and then that smell. It has a very warm, spicy, citrusy smell to it. Definitely one of my favorites, and definitely just really triggers great memories every time I smell it. Bleu de Chanel. This is a very classy cologne. I love this cologne. I wore this when I proposed to my girlfriend. So this smell will forever be linked to the love that I have for my fiance. Every time I smell this, I just think about that night we're in downtown, and you know, I proposed to her, and it's just you know, this brings back great memories. It has a really cool bottle. It's very simple yet elegant at the same time. It has a really cool magnetic cap too. It has a very classy, woody, citrusy scent to it. It's very strong. Great projection. One of my favorite colognes of all time, but you know, this definitely reminds me of one of the most important parts of my life, and that's when I proposed to the love of my life. I want to end this video on a more serious note. And I want to say that I see a lot of guys wearing cologne thinking that it's gonna make them more attractive and have more confidence, and that's simply not the case at all. True confidence has to come from within. True confidence has to come from you being comfortable in your own skin, and you being comfortable with who you are as a person, accepting yourself and loving yourself. And that's true confidence, and that's attractive. It doesn't matter how much money you spend on cologne, it's not gonna make you any more attractive. But if you're a very confident man, very confident who you are as a person, that makes you attractive. I'm a firm believer that a really good smelling fragrance can only affect confidence if confidence is already present. I'm a firm believer that a really good smelling fragrance can complement a man's confidence, but it cannot replace a man's confidence. Now, I'm not saying that if you have, you know, self-esteem issues or no confidence, don't buy cologne. Not at all. I'm not saying that. If you know, if you want to buy cologne, that's your thing, go ahead. I encourage it. But what I'm saying is, don't buy cologne thinking that it's gonna make you a more confident person, because it's not. Because at the end of the day, it's just superficial confidence. It's not true confidence. And that's one of the lessons that I had to learn growing up, is that I had to build my confidence from the ground up. My confidence was non-existent. My self-esteem was to the ground, and I had to learn that, build that confidence, because I was using cologne to mask my insecurities, and using cologne thinking that it's gonna change how I feel on the inside, but it didn't. And I know a lot of advertisements that you see on TV, they portray this thing where if you wear this cologne, you're gonna feel like this, and that's not true. You know, confidence has to come from the inside. My confidence comes from me being a strong individual, because I put that work in the gym. I had that discipline. I put in the work. I put in the grind. You know, my confidence comes from achieving multiple things despite having multiple setbacks. You know, my confidence comes from having a hard upbringing, but I kept persevering. I didn't give up. All that made me the confident man that I am today. There's one thing that I want you to take from this video, is don't rely on external sources to have confidence. You know, build that confidence from the inside. You know, go out and build yourself up, improve yourself each and every single day, and go out and accomplish goals and accomplish anything that you want. That's gonna build confidence, because you know you are a capable man. That's gonna build confidence, and that's gonna make you more attractive. Thank you guys for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. I hope you found some value in it. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please like and subscribe. If you like cologne, let me know down below what's your favorite cologne. Do you like cologne? Do you not like cologne? What do you think about cologne? And again, thanks for watching the video. Take care.